I unmute, and we're live. Welcome. Hello. Greetings.
Hello.
To another night of the Couch Cooperative as we continue our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adventure through the full pre-written module known as the Princes of the Apocalypse. Oh, nice. My big old ring light is just causing a nice glare. I have to take that now into consideration. I'm sorry, people, if that just blinded you. We do have an announcement. We have a vacation that is coming up, and as a result of that vacation, we will not be streaming on Monday, next Monday. So next Monday would be the 11th. We will not be here on that while we have a member on vacation. So that is our only major announcement for today.
Wait, Ethan, I have one, Ethan.
What?
March 4th is actually National Game Master Day. So I just wanted to give you a shout out thank you for being a great dungeon master.
Shout out, Ethan. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna see National.
Did he say he's gonna fact check you?
You're gonna fact check me?
It's International GM's Day. Game Masters Appreciation Days today.
That is correct.
I didn't know I was streaming on National Game Masters Day.
I didn't even know.
I don't know what to do. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Ethan.
Thank you. I appreciate that shout out. I had no idea, and now I don't know what to do with that information, but here we are. So this is great. I will have to kill all of you as a good game master does. So, that being said, we'll go ahead and jump right in. Let's get our music rolling. So last we left off, our adventurers, having combined their forces with a trio of Ilmatari paladins, led by Paladin Uktar, who recreated this older paladin order known as the Companions of Noble Heart. With the combination of these forces, you approached the Feathergale Spire, where you combated the Knights of Feathergale, defeating Thurl Maraska, their Lord Commander, his mount, a griffin, pretty sizable griffin, named Deathclaw, and then their kind of gathering of knights that they threw against you and some of their...
Such a good boy.
Oh, I thought I just got a notification. And some of the vultures that they threw your way as well. Now, when that combat had died down, you gathered some of these different items that you were able to kind of get off of them, whether it was, like some loot, gold. The final part of your key was another huge one as well. In the combat that did ensue, though, there was one knight that got away. When that knight got away, you identified him as having traveled east of the tower into this gully that was in the canyon space, and so it was Oslek, Pimbear Oslek, that actually flew into that gully after the knight had landed and dismounted to find that the locked door for the Feathergale Spire isn't actually connected to the Feathergale Spire itself and seems to be connected into the gully, into the chasm. So you came back just outside of the Feathergale Spire with your companions and decided that you guys were going to rest and come up with a next step determination in the morning. From my understanding, with what I wrote down, was you guys had also learned that the Cult of the Howling Hatred, which is the larger group dedicated to this element of air, and whatever else that entails, seems to have in a letter advised Maraska that they have in their possession one of the delegates that you are absolutely looking for, which is Desania, which is one of the nobles that was a part of the delegation. And so my understanding was that you guys were going to head into that door. That was like my last note that I wrote, is that you guys were going to rest and then look at going into that door.
There was one thing you missed. I didn't just fly, Ethan. I soared.
He soared.
It wasn't
Soared.
fly. It was
It was majestic.
yeah.
It was majestic.
I was expecting you to describe how my armor glistened with the sunlight as my wings kind of, like, just really.
Huh. Yeah, exactly. Just how you said it. It was great. Yeah, it was golden. So we begin kind of right where we left off, and if I could have everyone go ahead and roll a d20 for me real quick. You may or may not want to be the lowest person. It depends on how you're going to do it.
Oh.
You may or may not want to be the lowest person.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm really good at this one. Oh my god, balloons just came up on my screen. Why'd that
How
happen?
did you do that?
I don't know, my fucking hands are up. Woohoo! Is that what did it?
Yeah, maybe if you like dance a little bit. I don't know.
What? I feel
so
like
what
we
did
were doing this
everyone
before. Well, I got a nat 1, Ethan.
You got a nat 1? Okay.
Yeah.
And, yo, me too, Gabe. Me too.
What do you mean, Katre? Why do you...
So
why
Ragnarok and Oslek
why do
both
you
got
hate
nat
me?
ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why can't I win the lowest even, dude?
You both simultaneously are roused from your sleep at the sound of the other in like a snoring fit, and eventually it just kind of it catches you because it's not your snoring, it's another snoring, and so it wakes you both up. You feel a nice cold breeze outside of the Leoman's tiny hut that you're currently within. The hut is still spacious because it's a little pocket hut for you guys. You wake up, you are kind of pushing yourself out of your bed. What do you two do? We'll start with you guys.
I slowly slide my hand over Ragnarok's hand. No, just kidding. It just it just
You guys are in separate beds.
Well, it just felt, the moon's out. It's
The sun's out. The sun's out. You're not even looking at the sky. The sun's out. Sun's out. Hey, the moon's out, buddy. You know what that means. Ragnarok's like,
Well,
what?
we were napping. Looking. Okay.
Ragnar,
So
how do
everyone's
you
sleep-
get prepared in the morning? What do you do?
I stretch.
So you're just waking up and you're just stretching.
I stretch and then I do abs.
Oh, you stretch and then straight start doing like some crunches.
Yeah.
Okay.
I begin to do my morning prayer to Ilmater.
Yeah. So you get down and grab your recitation book of prayers and kind of have that held open as you're going through your morning prayers and your morning devotion.
After about
Yep.
5 minutes, I'd like to cook breakfast for everyone.
Okay. After about 5 minutes, you start cooking some breakfast. What do you have to cook?
Nothing.
Okay.
Can I make? Do I have any meat? Didn't I just skin an animal? No, I didn't skin an animal. Are there any dead animals here?
No, but you do know that the Feathergale Spire is kind of right next to you, so you have a really good idea that if you could just grab some stuff from them.
Okay,
what is it that
I'll
you're
go-
hoping to try and cook? Like, what would be a breakfast that you were thinking of?
a morning stew.
A morning stew, a nice little morning porridge or something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so you go ahead and go into the Feathergale Spire, grab the things that you're going to need to cook for breakfast, and head back. Starting to put those different ingredients together to make yourself a nice high-protein morning stew. Ragnak, your abdominals begin to burn with the fire of what we call gains, right? And so you feel the fire of those gains, and you know that you got a really solid workout in, and you start to smell what comes next after this, which is some food. You start to smell some food. You do know that your other companions are sleeping, and they seem to give no indication that they're going to be waking up just yet, though probably soon. What is it that you would like to do?
I would race to the kitchen.
Okay.
And have a bowl ready and holding like a fork and knife on the table.
You may be waiting for a while. Is Ragnak okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So like a child eager for a nice home-cooked meal, you see Ragnak, this like 6+ foot dragonborn, run into the kitchen space as you're cooking, and with a bowl and some silverware and some cutlery, just sit there in front of you while you're cooking and just ready. Like I'm first in line.
Can I give him the leftover utensils to like clean up? Not like you know what I'm like. You know when you give like a little kid like the like for when you're making a cake and you give the little kid like the mixer to like
Yeah.
like here's yeah. Can I like give him that with like the leftover spoons or
Yeah,
whatever?
You get a big ladle that you would just use to mix some stuff, and you hand it over to him, and it's all covered in different ingredients that are still kind of mixing.
How's it taste?
It's really good.
I'm glad. Hopefully this will get everyone prepared for the day ahead of us.
Yeah. We can wake him up.
Well, you know what they say, the early bird gets the worm. I'll make sure you get 2 bowls this morning, Ragnarok.
It's actually the early dragon gets the worm. That's
Well-
where I was told.
Isn't a dragon a worm? That
No.
doesn't make
I'm
sense.
thinking of wyverns.
Well, tomato. Regardless, I'll keep cooking breakfast here.
Yes.
Okay. Start doing that. Pippin and Nihilus, what did you two roll?
4.
4 and a 6. So Nihilus, you're the next one to start waking up. You already see that Ragnarok and Oslek are already up ahead of you. Breakfast is in the process of being cooked. And then Pippin, you wake up shortly after that. So the two of you are kind of getting your things together, getting out of your little like hut rooms, and are now jumping into the full group being awake.
Nice.
I just join the table silently and sit there and eat. Is the food ready yet?
Almost.
All right. Well, I
You
sit
see
there. And wait.
Ragnarok sitting up by the kitchen, like with a bowl ready.
I'll sit.
Ragnarok, make a wisdom check real quick.
Wait, can I be singing?
Sure.
99 bowls of stew on the table.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
99 bowls of
No,
stew.
please,
Knock
please,
one down.
Stop. Enough.
Wisdom save, you said?
Just a wisdom check, not a saving throw.
Oh, 16.
16. You have an idea that because you're standing next to the kitchen that everyone knows that you're first. You can choose to say it if you want to just reaffirm that, but you're pretty confident that everyone gets the idea. There's no like I rolled a 2 and you're like I just need to make sure everyone knows because I don't think you know. Like that's not happening. You're pretty sure. You're like, yeah, I'm sitting up here. You can tell people if you want. You don't need to.
I'm eating first.
Yeah,
I'm the hungriest.
We know.
Good.
Listen, if
And
you
then
didn't
he
eat that,
jumps down 3 numbers to the next number count of bowls on the table. He just skips it.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So like you were saying 99 bowls of stew on the table. Then
Yeah.
you told everyone you're eating first, and then you jumped down to 96 bowls of stew on the table. But you didn't do 97, 98, 98, 97. You went straight to 96.
96 bowls of stew on the table. 96 bowls of stew.
that's ridiculous. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Breakfast is fully cooked. You guys get a chance to eat, and you eat well because you're, taking provisions that aren't yours. So
I give Ragnarok 2 bowls.
You said 2 bowls?
Yeah, I give Ragnarok 2 bowls.
Yeah.
Ragnarok has 2 nice bowls of a morning stew.
Can Pippin have 1.5 bowls?
Sure, we have some extra here, Pippin.
You get a small tablespoon.
This is the size of a gnome's portions, right?
I didn't specify what size bowls. I just said bowls. All right.
Right.
Look at my bowl.
We're half
I'm full. I am. I consider myself fueled for adventure. I don't know about you, compadres, but we can pack this tent up and hit the road.
Well, I don't see any sense in delaying the inevitable. We might as well.
Okay. As you guys leave the Leoman's tiny hut, fully as a group, and the hut is is unconjured or sent away.
No.
Oslek, when you went to the Feathergale Spire this morning to gather the provisions, what you're about to see was not something that you saw earlier this morning. And it is incredibly distinctive to you with your passive perception, especially considering that you did not see this morning. But as you all walk out, you see two specifically... Hold on, let me pull up my map. I should have had this map at the ready. Specifically to the west, off on the horizon, a massive blackened plume of smoke.
Oh, fire.
Done.
Just kidding, bro. It's the sickest vape convention you ever seen.
Now, as you guys are seeing this plume of smoke and wondering like what that may be, you see Paladin Uktar and his companions, Kayanala and Kuwalu, have started to walk, because they slept inside the spire for the night, begin to leave the spire and all turn in the direction of this massive plume as well. And then you see Uktar kind of give a concerned look. You guys are a distance away, so he gives a concerned look in your direction before kind of looking back at it. And you can see they're talking amongst themselves, trying to gauge what it is that they're saying. It is a sizable plume of smoke, and so I need the four of you to go ahead and make either an insight roll for me or an investigation roll, or a nature roll. Either 3 would be fine.
Oh,
Nature.
I got a 15 for insight.
15 for insight.
I got a 22.
You succeed on insight. You definitely succeed on a nature roll.
I got 19 for investigation.
You definitely succeed on that.
Damn, we're about to get this whole fucking lord.
I got a 27 for insight.
27 for insight. Nice.
I used the inspiration.
So, in a variety of different ways, you all come to a pretty similar conclusion.
Nice.
And so I'm going to walk through those conclusions. Ragnarok, you've seen fights, you've seen battles, and you know that in the battles that you've physically have been a part of or have witnessed in the arenas, that you've never witnessed anything like this. You do know it to be fire smoke, obviously, but you know that when you're in the arenas, it tends to be that the sands of the floor, the marble of the floor, are painted red with the blood of those who are fallen. You've heard stories that when warriors take their battles elsewhere, that fire is indicative of the destruction of the places with which they've been. Pippin, you know that this plume of smoke can only have been produced by a large and concentrated amount of wood.
Oh.
And then with the insight and the investigation together, because those both are very similar, Nihilus and Oslek, you both have reason to believe that the closest source that plume of smoke could be coming from, especially because it's west of you, is from the town of Red Larch, where you all met.
Oh
Yo. No, what the fuck?
no! We fucking didn't we send? We don't have anyone there. Do
You don't have anyone there.
If
All
I
of the
was-
people you've gathered are all at the Riverguard Keep.
Dude, thank God.
But there are still, obviously, you had faction contacts. There were a lot of citizens there as well. It was a sizable small town, which is a nice, little, not same words being used together. Nice sizable small town.
I thought that's where everybody was.
No, we decided to keep them with us.
Yeah, you could have
We
brought them
sent
to
them
Red
there
Larch, but you
to-
didn't. You sent them to the Riverguard Keep. They went to Red Larch to gather supplies, and that was when Pulcher
Yeah.
left. Pulcher
Thank,
defended them up to Red Larch and then departed.
thank God. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I still feel bad.
At that point, Paladin Uktar and the rest kind of fully walk over and go, "Large fire off into the distance. I think there's a town down there."
Yeah, it's a Red Larch. We're familiar. And the amount of smoke coming from that stack there tells me that they got quite the concentration of wood burning. So they ought to be burning something quite mighty. Now, I don't want to go as to guessing as to what that might be, but I figure we should go as to figuring it out before that smoke stops smoking.
You see Kayanala kind of give you a little bit of a look that's like, you said you've been to Red Lodge, right?
Correct, yes.
When you were there, what were the buildings made out of?
Congregation, stone, wood, maybe some steel, fibers.
Well, then we might be looking at, that might be an indication that the town itself is burning.
Yeah,
There could be survivors.
There could be. I think every second that is wasted running to their aid is a chance for something to move in. We might not be the only ones that see that. And we know that there are forces at work here who would capitalize on something like this.
So you're saying it's a trap?
It could be. Very well could be.
Then we trap them
Or a
back.
warning.
There's griffins here, though, right? Right there.
Are there?
There are griffin mounts that were kept at the Feathergale Spire. They have a little roost at the bottom level. It's like a basement level. You guys have no formal training in riding griffins.
But I basically do. I'm a bird.
You can fly, so that's irrelevant. You can just fly.
Well, let's head down there real quick. I may be able to swing a thing or two with them.
If you guys want to try to ride the griffins, I won't make it incredibly difficult. It'll just be a very noticeably... if anyone watching you fly would know that you don't fly griffins. This is not a natural thing for you.
Okay.
But they're trained. They're trained griffins, so it's not like they're going to be a problem.
Okay.
But we are.
Yeah, you guys would be... You'd be sitting all uncomfortable, hugging reins and like holding in, like please don't fall. So you very quickly go ahead and gather some mounts, and you can see that the collection of paladins that are out actually take the time it takes you to go get these griffins, and they're all going to cast the spell Find Steed, and they're all going to summon through that. They're going to conjure angelic war horses. Those war horses
cool.
are going. They can ride them, so they're going to conjure up those war horses, and all of them are. Aesthetically speaking, they're all armored. It looks very, like they look very, very bright. And so they conjure those war horses while you're grabbing these griffins. And as you guys are flying overhead, they are a little bit behind you, but they're trailing on the ground level. And so because you guys are flying in, you actually get to see rather quickly, because it doesn't take you that long to fly the distance from Feathergale Spire to Red Large. And
Okay.
because you're overhead, you can see rather quickly that the plume of smoke, this thick, massive, cylindrical plume of black smoke, is indeed coming from buildings that have been set on fire. But it's not a fire that's like actively raging, and so you can start to tell that the fire is dwindling. Something has set this entire town on fire rather early this morning, and it was so quick that it was nearly over with. Something it had to have been something fast and something quick, because you can tell that the fire is starting to dwindle as the black smoke begins to start graying. So you can see it at the base, it's going to start graying, and so you start to get that idea from it.
Are there people around?
You definitely see survivors that are struggling on the outskirts of the town. It does look like there's a lot of bodies in there as well. They kind of look like little raisins from how high you are up, so they're like just little kind of like crumpled, because they're all burnt. And so you guys land kind of on the outskirts of the town and are able to dismount your griffins, and get closer to some of the citizens, and it's very hectic. You're dealing with a lot of people that are very stressed, very overwhelmed. A lot of people just lost a lot of stuff, and it's very evident. People lost family members, people lost their homes, their way of life. People lost material possessions that may have been more important to them than the relationships around them. Like a wide range of different people being frustrated about different things. The grief seems to be a little bit overbearing. And then you see there's a couple of the kind of like militiamen. So these are men who aren't a part of like a formal armed guard, but have decided to step up because of the nature of the circumstance. And there's one more like grizzled man who is kind of pointing off in different directions. He's got a kind of like a nice set of hair that is full and it's pulled back into a big bun. And he's got a massive red beard that just flows down off the front of his face. A stern look, and he's just he's directing people and trying to make sure people are safe and secure. And he kind of seems to be the person that's like most in charge at the moment. And so you guys land and you start walking up, and he sees that. And so as he sees that, you can tell from the distance he's pointing at some of the able-bodied men. Whether they're younger or a bit older, kind of around his age, he's just pointing towards them, and they all start grabbing farming tools, a mixture of different types of farming tools, and then also woodsman's tools, like big woodsman, like tree cutting axes, and then like small hatchets that you would use to cut logs, like small logs and tree branches. They start grabbing those things and heading over to you, cautiously, as you guys dismount and start to approach. And the first one, the lead, the one that was kind of gathering everyone, kind of steps a bit forward as the group kind of starts to kind of like spread a bit, and he himself actually has a weapon. So he's actually got an actual weapon. He's got a sword which is strapped to his side, and he unsheathed that, and he has it just kind of in his hand. It's pointed down, and he kind of looks at everyone. But if you come back for more, you will find us not that easy this time.
We're here to assist. We're not here to harm.
How do I know that?
I have friends here. Helver and Magla, they're clothers.
He sheathes his blade. He walks up to you, and sizable size difference. He walks up to you and he looks up into your face, but he gets, close. They didn't survive.
No. What the fuck?
What about Endrith?
Valivo. He's alive. He's terribly wounded. He was at the source of all this. He was there at the where it all began, and so
where is he now?
He's very heavily wounded. They have him, and he points off into. There's a small area kind of underneath some of the red larch trees to help with shade, where they have a collection of tents, like triage tents, put up. And he's like, that's where they're keeping the wounded. The priest is over there helping.
Can I head over to the where the priest is helping the wounded?
Yeah,
me too.
You immediately fly over, and you start heading over as well to the priest, to the triage tent, and basically when you guys get there, because it's just a short walk. When you get there, you are seeing a wide variety of degrees of burn victims. So burn victims that are like fully scorched across a particular side of their body that's less so than the rest of the body, or people who are scorched enough in different, like just kind of in general, like pretty evenly all around.
Have I seen this before?
Go ahead and make a really quick nature check for me, and then I will confirm or deny that.
Can I identify like the head nurse?
There's no nurse. There's a priest who's attending to them.
He's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? Okay. Can I walk up to him when I can?
Yeah. Oh, I got his name. And Relvander. Or
Wait, are you doing me right now or Omar?
I think he's doing
I'm
me.
answering you. Yeah, it's Indar Relvander. He's a priest of Tempest.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
And
I want to walk up.
He's just healing people and like attending to different degrees of wounds. So
Yeah.
you can see as one person is currently like screaming in agony because their body is it's charred, and so you see he has plying instruments like tweezers or like what would be close to tweezers at this time, and he is methodically pulling off chunks of charred skin as if it were
Oh my
like tree
God.
bark, so that he can get to the healthy skin underneath and treat that. He has an entire section removed on the forearm, and it's all bandaged and wrapped in salve, and so it's got this like sticky medicinal salve on it. And he's holding onto that while he's screaming. So it's giving him something to clutch onto, and he's moving up that same arm. And so, like, as you move over, you can tell right away that he's very, very, very busy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother him until he's done.
But that can take a while. So
That's fine.
You guys would have a general idea, being like faction agents, that in instances like this, just jumping in and helping as best as you could is really good in these types of instances where the chain of command is broken and no one's clear as to like who's in charge. It's like, well, this is what I can offer, so I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
I'm gonna
if you guys
start
want to
doing-
take command, like that could be a potential. Like if you're like stepping up and directing things, that's fine.
I wanted to ask him if anyone had told him what had happened.
Okay,
But
we'll get to that in a second.
Other than that,
Nihilus,
'cause
with your 17, really quick, I want to get to his real quick. With your 17, you know that this fire it carries a facade of natural flame, and so there is a tinge to the flame of some of the like the embers in some of the buildings and some of the areas that are kind of still on fire. There's like a bucket still on fire that like no one's putting out because it's a bucket. There's a tinge to those flames that they don't look natural fully, even though they're natural. It's fire, it's burning, it's doing what fire's supposed to do. You have heard of this type of flame. These were types of flames that were described to you in your childhood and growing up as the types of flames that had been seen before your birth.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but these flames, are they extinguishable?
They are. Yeah. For the most part, they're natural flames. So.
Dragon.
And didn't the guy say the source was like near the merchant store
Yes.
where Endris was?
Mhm.
I'm gonna just start because like I wanted to investigate like the flame to see if I like knew anything, which now I know something.
Mhm.
But I want to go to where the source was because I want to see if I can investigate further,
Absolutely.
see exactly what happened.
Of course. You guys watch as Nihilus reaches down into the ground and pulls up a bucket that is partially on fire on one side and kind of looks at the flame and then puts the part that's on fire kind of into the sand, into the ground, and it puts out the flame because it snuffs out the oxygen, and then gets up and begins to walk off in a direction of the town. You guys can stay and help assist those who are wounded if you want to. What is it that everyone else would like to do, just so I can get an idea of where everyone's going?
I'm staying to help.
Okay, you're staying to help.
I'm staying to help heal.
Okay, so I need you to make a medicine check, Oslek, and then I need a nature check from Pippin. It's basically a medicine check, Pippin, but it's a nature-based medicine check for you.
17.
17. Okay, so you're helping out. Bandaging
I got
wounds,
15.
tiding to the pain, and you got 15.
Yeah.
Okay, with that 15, you're going through the collection of herbs and the collection of salves that are present and trying to grab the ones that you know are going to be able to help with the minor to like mild cases of burns. So all the ones where they're like charred, those are ones that are outside your scope of ability to help with.
You're telling me I don't got none of them.
Like, you can help with peeling stuff off, but like you don't. It's not like you can look at all the medicine and be like, that's going to be what this guy needs.
I know what he needs, but you won't let me.
No, you're not going to mercy kill everyone here. Ragnar, what do you do?
Oh, if there's any like fire, like hot wood, I'd be the one like lifting it and stuff, like moving it.
All right.
If there's hot wood,
Yeah,
Like, people are trapped, or
yeah, I have fire resistance. Yeah, that's why. So like anything too hot to touch, or if there's any bodies like they need carrying.
Shirtless though.
for the most part, they have the town like they have. It's not like they're actively hunting for people. Like if that's what you're asking for, to like try to help pull people out of buildings because they don't know where they're at.
Okay. Well, if not, then
Well, that's because no one can lift the beams.
can I see the bodies of my Lords Alliance allies?
Yeah, you can go ahead and make an investigation check to see if you can find them.
they're going to be hard to recognize if they're all charred too.
Yeah.
My homies.
Oh, but that's a good roll. I got an 18.
An 18. Nihilus and Ragnarok, your pathways take you to the same location. And you find a section of the town in which, and the reason why it's distinguished is because there is a crater in the ground, kind of centralized in the street,
What the fuck?
with bodies outside the crater
It was a meteor.
in a variety of different directions. A lot of the people that are here are stuck in place in terms of how burned they are. And you know that all the ones that you see before you did not make it. Couldn't have possibly.
Oh,
I'm
so I
kind of
so I
trembling
wasn't
a little.
wrong. So you're telling me
Of
that
which,
this
Ragnarok, you see a couple in which it seems like the male, the husband, was wrapping himself around his wife to protect her, but it was in vain. And so they're kind of stuck together.
That's probably them.
This is some Transformers.
It's probably Michelle.
Yeah,
Oh.
everything on them is just torched. The crater
That's so sad.
The crater has something in it, and it looks to be like a 6 foot long square box that is of some type of dark metallic alloy that not only did it not get destroyed being dead center of this crater, but has a lid that is missing. It's empty. There was something in it, and it's about 6 feet in all directions, like a cubic box that's just right there of a dark, and I mean a dark metallic alloy.
Is there any magic off of it?
Did it cause the explosion?
Wait, I use my magic awareness.
Okay, what does that do?
Oh wait, never mind. That just knows the location of a spell or magic.
Okay, let me actually check real quick because that actually might help.
Okay.
Good.
So you actually do detect some magic. It says magic or a spell.
Yeah, it's no location of any spell or magic item.
You definitely can tell that the box is magical. Yeah, the box itself contains a magical aura. And it's a very dark magical aura.
And there's no like insignias on it. It's just a box.
It's just a plain box, just a metallic box. There are some clasp handles on it and an intricate like combination segment that has runes that are written in the elemental language, but there's no like insignias, and so those runes are written in the primordial language, and it's basically it's just a number combination using the primordial number runes.
Is the box hot to the touch, or is it?
If you put your hand up to it, actually walking close to it gives a kind of a very noticeable aura of heat being produced from the box.
Oh,
you can attempt to touch it based on that.
No, nope. I'm not touching that.
Wait, do you reach for it though?
I do. Yeah, I'm gonna reach to it, but like I want to touch it.
Yeah, like you feel it start getting really hot as you get closer and closer, and go ooh. So you see him do that. Nihilus kind of pulls her hand back, and is like,
Okay. After Nihilus does that, I pick it up.
Okay, so you actually, as you walk closer to it, you don't feel that discomfort as much because you're naturally resistant to fire. And so as you move up towards the box, and it's 6 foot by 6 foot, and I mean that both like in its width, its length, and its height, because it's a cubic box. So you can't really pick it up; it's too big for that. But you can put both hands on it, and it is very, very warm to the touch. Like for you, it is very warm. It is starting to get a little bit uncomfortably hot to the touch for you, and you can kind of place your hands there. Something about it, you even are able to get up to the point where you can reach in, like get your hands in. The heat is even more so inside the box, leading you to believe that something was inside this box recently. Now, everything in about to put it into nice perspective, in terms of kind of like the area of what has been kind of destroyed around you, whatever explosion happened here, because there's this crater, everything around it is just completely charred. The explosion looks big enough to have gone almost the full length of the town.
So my question is, how far below ground level is that box?
Yeah, like the crater.
It's probably like 4 feet down.
Okay.
But it's wide. That crater's wide, so it's probably like 10 feet across.
Yeah.
So that box takes up a good portion.
At about this time, Ugatar and the Noble Companions are going to be arriving, the Companions of Noble Heart, but they're heading to the triage because they see wounded. So they're going to run into Oslek and Pippin first.
Okay.
But we'll get to that in a second.
Can I look around for like, if I think what I think it is, where if it's like a type of fiery being, would there be like traces of like, I know the whole city's or the whole town's burned, like, you know, burned and shit, but is there a way for me to like look for a trail of that?
Yeah, you try to look off in a variety of different directions, and I won't need you to roll any form of a roll for this because there's nothing to be found. It seems to be, even after looking just to confirm, that whatever was in this box was explosive in nature, not like releasing something. So it was, so like the box basically treated the box like the remnants of a bomb.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
At about this point, Pippin and Oslek, you hear the sounds of hoofsteps coming up behind you as Ubtar and the Companions of Noble Heart dismount their horses. They make their way over to you. They run pretty quickly. Ubtar kind of looks at you, Oslek, and goes, "Where are the others? Where'd they go?"
They went further on.
Koala, try to head further into the town and see if you can find them. Help them in any way you can. Kainala, continue to help with the wounded. What do we know so far?
Well, it just seems that most of the victims here have been burned. I'm not sure exactly what could have created damage at this scale with
I I saw
Such-
a bunch of able-bodied men about small ways that way, still looking over some of the resources, supplies, and some of the survivors. There's a man that looks to be a little bit more in charge. I'm gonna go start talking to him and start asking him for some questions. But I'll leave you guys to take care of the wounded, so that I don't get in your way.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Let Kainola know if you need anything, and if she needs to come get me, she will.
We'll stay out
And
of her way.
Koala's like running off. Which, it takes a matter of like maybe a minute before moving back over to Nihilus and Ragnarok, as you guys are like looking at this bomb site as Kualu runs up and he's like, by the gods, I did not think there'd be anything that could be this massive.
Have you seen anything like this before?
Not before in my life. In Jotan, we have big dragons in some of the mountains. Nothing that has ever gotten this big. To destroy this much has never been seen. And you can see he kneels down by the couple, which you believe to be your contacts with Lord's Alliance, and there's something about their position that seems to be gripping Kualu a little bit. He grabs something like a small handkerchief that he's got, like a small little like rag, and he clutches something that's underneath his armor. Like he pulls out a pendant, like a necklace, locket, and begins to hold that to his mouth.
What?
And you can see there's something about this that's striking him a bit more rawly.
What pendant in?
Wait, can I put my hand on his back to like comfort him?
Yeah, and you can feel the vibrations of sobbing. So like if you ever to hold someone when they're sobbing, how their body's kind of like moving. He's not crying out loud, and he's holding it in. He's holding it in very well, but you can feel that vibration, like he's sobbing while he's seeing this.
First time.
And he just kind of looks over and does a quick little like hand pat. And then he opens up this locket, which has a little button on the side. He opens it up, and you see a small little portrait, which very difficult to get in, this landscape, by the way. You normally need to be pretty wealthy or sizably wealthy or important to have any form of picture taken of you, because it needs to be very, very well crafted. The fact that he's got one, it's a pretty big deal. And it seems to be a family portrait of some sort, and it's him. Obviously he's a lot younger, and he's a lot less battle scarred, and it's with a woman, a Cholton woman, and then an infant, a little baby wrapped in little swaddling clothes. So he just kind of opens it up and doesn't say anything, and then closes it.
Yeah.
He gets up and looks at the box and then he starts to speak. Whoever this man was, he has my undying respect that he would throw himself in front of fire to save his wife. But this world can be cruel, as it meant nothing. His sacrifice meant nothing. How did this get here?
That's what we want.
We're trying to figure that out. It seems like it's some type of explosive, but the flames that came out of it, I mean, it looks natural enough, but there's just something about it that seems off. I feel like I've seen something like this before.
That would be helpful. That would be very helpful. He starts to move off into some of the buildings to just try to make last minute check to see like how far the damage had gone. And it's a quick he pokes his head in. When he like pulls his head out, it's this like stunned look of disbelief. Like, I can't believe this is happening here. Switching back over to Pippin and Oslek, you guys are with Kainala and Imdar. And for the most part, the current round of survivors that need to be treated have been treated. So, you know, those with lesser wounds they're fine, and they can wait a while before they next get treated. The ones with severe wounds have been treated and either determined this person's going to pass and we're just trying to relieve them of their pain, or this person has a chance to fight and we've gotten them stable. So things are nice and calm. And Imdar kind of looks over at you and he starts to kind of undo a kind of like a leathered glove that is now just soaked in like ash and blood of a variety of different, you know, sources. Throws it off and goes, "Oh, my tempest is light. Thank you all for your help. So grateful."
Well, this would have been possible without everybody involved, and I'm just glad that everybody that made it through.
Yes.
I'd like to know what wretched beast caused this damage here.
It wasn't a beast.
What was it?
Insight.
Yeah, you can make an insight roll.
Nice.
Bro, we know it's not a beast.
Man. 8.
You're not fully believing that. Like that's a little bit of a difficult pill to swallow, just because this amount of devastation normally is something that you would see like a dragon do.
Baby. All right, let's hear it.
This morning, there was a wagon that had pulled into town, carrying this massive black box. They went to Valivos and they unloaded it right outside of a store. And so most people just thought, oh, Valivos found something unique. We thought nothing of it, but then they just left it there. And people started to get confused. Valivo had no idea. And so people started to gather. People were concerned. They were curious. We couldn't have possibly have known. This man wearing what was he wearing? Like a brown cloth frock, almost like a friar's frock, like priestly robes, but not ornamental, you know, like local, small, something common, simple. Walks up and says that he said that we were going to be receiving divine punishment.
Yeah. That's right.
And so he began to press a few buttons on the box, and there were some people, myself included, that knew right away that something was wrong, and we ran the minute he said that. My cowardice had gripped me so hard that I should have run towards him to stop him, and the only thing I could have thought of was to run away.
That's fair.
My ears are still ringing. And I was thrown, and he's covered in soot, and pretty much everyone that you see here no one's like clean. There's a mixture of soot and dust. Some people, you know, have like different types of wounds for getting hit by something, you know, things like that. And so he's bleeding down the side of his temple. A massive wave of force, it threw me into the side of a building, and I woke up and people were screaming.
Do not blame yourself. It is wise to run from danger. But
It's cowardly
You say
to
if-
run from danger if it means that others will die because you've done so. That's the sin of apathy. It is one I will have to make up for as long as I live.
I respect your efforts, priest, but you're telling me to believe that it was a piece of a box that caused this damage, not a dragon, not a spell.
I wasn't looking. To be honest, I don't know what that box did. He said something about... He said something about how there are those that had come to Red Lodge recently that had dealt a great wound to them. He said something about a rite of the Wicker that had been stopped.
Damn it.
And I just don't know what to make of any of it. None of it makes sense. And
Did he say anything else? Or was that it?
no, the minute he started turning towards the box, I ran. So if he did, I didn't hear it. Balivo's still pretty shaken up about it, but he was inside, so he was spared from the majority of the damage. I think his leg's broken, though. He had a piece of timber fall on it. He might have seen something more.
Do we know how many have died so far?
Too many to count. And I'm losing more as we speak.
The amends you must make is nothing in comparison to what we must face ahead. I fear this might have been our fault, Pippin.
The fault? How?
Oh no.
You weren't here.
Well, it's not that it would have been when we were here. It would have been the things that had occurred when we weren't here. You see, these folk, we've come across them a time or two before. Well, they're not the kindest of people, nor are they necessarily good people. They are an evil to be quelled. In the name of quelling that evil,
So you know who did this?
We know the group. I'm sure that we could put a name or two, though. We were asked.
And you're saying they did this because of you?
Well, because of us and because of a lot of other people like us who have been working to stop them from being successful in their pursuits. That is true.
Because they've been on a constant pursuit of killing, and if we don't try and stop them, they will continue to kill. And unfortunately, they thought Red Lodge would be a good target after we went after them.
Yeah, well, and they specifically because we interfered in one of their quote-unquote great rituals that they get to celebrate or whatever. I don't know. I don't get into all that. They were upset about it because we ruined their party, and so they wanted to come back and quote-unquote get at us, but it's just no good. It's no
I really
good.
stressed this out.
You see that Imdar on his... He has a holy symbol wrapped around his neck, and the symbol that he has is this upright flaming sword on a disc medallion. There is a massive diagonal crack that cuts across it from left to right, that across the surface of it, so it doesn't run through it. It's like right across the front that defaces it, like mars the blade. He's fiddling with a ring that he has on his right ring finger, and he's kind of like fiddling with that for a second. The people who did this displayed a cowardice that is, in all humility, is not too far different than mine.
No, don't
But
you?
their cowardice is a weakness of inflicting pain on others to get back at others. There's no honor in that. There's no honor in these deaths.
Amen.
He removes the ring. I need you both to roll a d20 for me, please, and you want to roll higher.
Thanks, I know how to skew the numbers now.
Oh, dude, I got the 50, dude. 10.
I got a 12.
Yeah.
He puts the ring directly into your palm and closes your palm around it. Closes your hand around it.
My wing?
No, he puts a ring in your hand that he just took off. And he closes your hand around it and says, I have failed my god, and so Tempest has chosen to punish me and strip me of my powers until I've made amends.
Oh, this guy is like...
This ring will not do me any good while that I am working on that. but it will
But-
benefit you.
Don't you have bomb in his guts?
It's really be
What?
winning stuff up.
What is this ring? What is this ring? You can't just give me this. It's not mine. It's
Well, it's yours now. And it is simple. It will be a shield for you. When you need it to be. And only when you need it to be.
I must pay you. I can't just take this from you.
You will pay
This
me.
is too generous.
You will consider this paid for when you ensure that everyone that has done this has received justice for what they've done. All of them.
Yeah, baby.
That I will take as payment, and nothing further.
I will let the Church of Ilmeta know of the Tempest's good deeds.
I wish I could speak highly of myself in this, but there's a chance I might be stripped of my authority if the temple was to find that I was outshone by members of the Ilmatari.
A man is not defined by how he is struck or when he loses, but how he chooses to challenge that.
I would argue that a man is defined when he chooses to run and not get struck, and therefore leaving others to be hurt worse.
If you're not dead, you have the chance to do better the next day. Believe in
So
that.
Tempest will keep me alive in my humiliation so that I might atone for it, and that we both seem to be to some form of agreement.
I'm gonna grab kind of him aggressively, kind of by the shirt a little bit, and be like, do not speak so lowly of your god. Your god would not have chosen you to sit here and pity yourself like this. Pull your pants up and
Tempest is a god of war. Cowardice is a mortal sin.
And what are you doing right now? You're sitting and moping. That's not what a god of war would want from
He
you.
kind of gives you a little bit of like an offended look. He's like, moping? Yes, I'm upset, but I've recognized that I have to make amends for this. I'm doing what I must. I am ashamed. And I will carry that shame until Tempest decides to befit me with honor that shows me that I've made up for this. But he like looks out. But this, if I had run towards him, there is a chance that this may not have happened.
Nah.
And because I did not, I will never know if that's the case. Tempest would have rewarded me if my death was in service of others. And so because I chose my life over others, my life will be spent in service of others. And that is just.
You know,
I-
I've been into all of this mumbo jumbo that you guys seem to, spend all your time worrying about. But I'll tell you this, never mind. I'll forget about it anyway.
Kind of like at that point, kind of grabs you by the shoulder and says, they're having a moment. She walks up to him and grabs onto one of his hands and goes, do you mind if I pray over you real fast? And so he accepts it, and she goes ahead and starts praying for him. And she prays both in the name of Ilmater, but also calls upon the name of Tempest to kind of intercede on his behalf and to step into the midst of the issue to kind of help direct his follower in the path of glory and war and battle as he dictates. But also prays for Ilmater to step in and kind of relieve some of that suffering so that he can step back forth in service of his god with a renewed vigor. And so there's this like very, very beautiful kind of like connected prayer that she prays over him. It does kind of get his composure a little bit. And I would say both of you with your passive perceptions could tell that she casts the spell Calm Emotions when she's doing this. And so you can tell that he's being magically influenced to kind of calm down a bit, but she's doing so through the prayer, and everything seems to be fine after that. And so he starts to relax. Now, it doesn't make him oblivious to the issues, and it doesn't remove his guilt, but it lowers his overall kind of like escalation. So he takes a breath and goes, I needed that, thank you. I have some more people I need to check in on. Remember, the ring is paid for when those who have done this are punished.
Yes.
With
We
or
will do it.
without this payment, it would have been done. But thank you, brother.
You're welcome. Give him hell.
Will do.
Yeah, you should play the rest of the campaign like Tank Edge. So.
So is this the ring of like? Does it cast shield?
It does,
mean
yeah. So it's a ring of shielding. So every day you have 3 uses of the shield spell that you can use as a reaction on your turn, and they recharge each day.
That's cool.
And you do have to attune to it in order to use it.
How long does that take? A day?
You would have to do it over the course of a long rest.
Okay. I'll attune to it this next rest.
2.5 years.
What?
Yeah, and so the ring, by the way, actually has an intricate-looking shield on it, and this shield actually has a symbol of Tempest, so it's that flaming upright sword on that ring, so it's like a little insignia ring. And so you just slip that on your finger. You'll attune to it when you get a chance. But we're going to pull out and move over to Kualu, Ragnarok, and Nihilus, and you guys are all kind of still at that central blast site. Some of the villagers come by, especially that lead man that you met earlier. He heads over. Who would do such a thing? Why would anyone go to a small town, drop this in the center, and just unleash hell?
Some sick bastard was access to a bomb. Do bombs exist in Is that like a term?
Yeah.
There's types of explosives, but
I would say an explosive then, not a bomb.
yeah, a bomb not in the sense of how we would know it, but if you kind of think of like those cannonball style bombs where it's got a fuse and you light it and you can hold it and you can throw it and it explodes like a cannonball size.
It's just not like a funny name, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, so would we call it a boombox?
No, you call it a bomb.
Really?
Yeah, boom ball. A boom ball.
Fucking boombox.
That was a good one, though.
I brought some of the villagers who were a bit more. They were sheltered. One was lucky. I brought him, and he was close to the blast, but he made it inside. Made it inside a building and hid in the bathtub, no less. And it flipped the tub around, because it's a wooden tub, and was shielded from the flames. He said he saw a lot of what had happened through the window of the house. And so this guy walks up and he's like, yes, there's a guy who was like pressing buttons and screaming things about divine punishment and wrath of the gods and a fury, a retributive fury in his words, to show payback for something that he called like the some ritual that they were trying to do, but it was stopped, and he pressed this box. He pressed this box, and when he pressed it, the top just like, it's almost as if it just disappeared. It caved in on itself. The box, the metal it just moved into the box, and this massive ball of fire rose out from the box and just exploded. It was like a sun going off.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying.
The other person who he brought with him has some wounds. They're like physical wounds. And he has a rag over his eyes, which means he must have been facing the thing that went off.
No.
Is he blind?
You do see trickles of blood coming down.
Dude, it burned his eyes. Oh my god.
I hate to see that happen.
Hey, that ritual that he was talking about, that wasn't the same ritual in Chondawood, was it?
No, the ritual that he was talking about was the Rite of the Wicker Giant.
The one that we stopped.
The one that you guys had
The
stopped.
one with the tents, right?
Yes.
No. You will not do that.
Yeah. The total information that you guys have gotten across the party gives reason to believe that the Cult of the Eternal Flame came to Red Larch as a way of seeking payback, to retaliate against what you've done, because you took their one of their priests, by the way, and so this was their way of getting back at you for doing that.
That priest that released that flame on to the town, did he die with them?
Yes, he was just engulfed. He just incinerated down to the bone, turned into ash, flooded away in the wind, and he was excited. The ecstatic look on his face, I couldn't tell what was more frightening. It seemed like he was eager for this, as if he was going to go back home.
It's
Some
so good.
divine source.
Fuck. And that's all you know?
That's all I saw.
Do you know where he went?
Huh?
Do you know where he went after?
Who?
He turned to dust. He was burned.
Oh,
Do you know which direction the wagon came from?
Came from east and rode up here, and then the people who brought it left.
We could follow the tracks.
it probably leads to one of the eye doors. Do we know what place is closest to, like, the east side if we were walk down the path, Ethan?
Yeah, the closest to you guys in terms of like the 4 outposts that you've gone to so far would still be the Feathergale Spire, and then it would be the Scarlet Moon Hall. So the Sacred Stone Monastery is the farthest one from you, with Riverguard Keep being, along the way.
I mean, we have griffins too.
It didn't take us very far to fly here to begin with. I don't think
It didn't. So we could just fly.
You could. It's a small region, so flying on griffins makes it a lot easier for you guys to kind of travel between places.
I think I've heard enough.
Okay.
We should go back to Oslick.
Yeah, you guys all gather with, and you can see that Uktar, Kainala, and Kualu all gather. And you can see that Uktar and Kualu, they give a hug. You can see that Uktar probably has a good idea, for those of you that were with Kualu, has an idea of like why he's so upset. Gives him a hug. You can see he's kind of consoling him a little bit. Pats him on the back. It's like, all right, like let's get to work. We got stuff we still got to do. And they begin still just kind of taking care of people. When you guys have gathered, Uktar walks over and goes, I think I'm going to keep the Companions of Noble Heart here, and we're going to help clean up and help make sure that everyone's safe. Because we don't know if maybe a roving orc band or bandits or, God forbids, dragon would fly through here. They're completely defenseless, so it's best if someone's here to protect them.
Agreed.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Sorry. Wait, you guys? I was not a part of that. I thought I was a part of that, but
Yeah,
you guys.
no,
just-
yeah.
No.
You
Yeah,
are.
you're
Oh, I was.
Yeah, we came
Yeah,
back
okay.
to you.
Okay.
We're all together now.
Now the 4 of you guys are together, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves and determine what to do with this newfound information.
The priest up here had some interesting things to say to us. Did you guys learn anything?
Yes,
We did.
we found the bomb or the explosive box.
I see. So the priest was telling the truth.
Mhm. It was a priest of the Sacred Flame, right, Ethan?
For what?
Eternal Flame.
Cult of the Eternal Flame, yeah.
That's the evil cult.
Yeah, Cult
Yeah.
of the
The cult of the fire cult.
Well, looks like we've got some roaches that we need to finish cleaning up.
I agree.
Shall we head out now, or is there any unattended business?
Well, I just want to confirm, because we're going to the eye. Do we want to do the Feathergale entrance?
Ooh, are we sure which one is closest? I don't care too much. Whatever's closest.
The Feathergale would be the closest.
It would be.
Then we should head there.
I'm okay with that.
So, you guys gather on your mounts and fly off in the direction of the Feathergale Spire, making sure to not land outside the spire, but to head towards that gully so that you can enter into...
Oslek doesn't have a mount. He just flies.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you can totally do that. You
Oh, because you did that.
arrive at the location that Oslek had last found the previous day, and there is a stone door, and the insignia that's on this stone door is it's a very unique collection of symbols in which
Not a puzzle.
it's technically it's 5 parts, but one part of it is cut up into 4 parts. Okay. The first part is this. It's almost like an upside down, like stepped pyramid. So you know how like if you draw stairs, you draw up over. So there's that, but it ends at a point, and that's upside down. So the flat part is at the top. Everything within it is black, except for this very thin oval that's purple, and the outline is all the same purple, and it gives this weird, like, almost like a serpentine-like eye appearance in terms of the oval. The second part is 4 distinct tag marks that fit into the grooves of the steps, because of the fact that it's like going down, stepping down to the tip of that pyramid. In each of those segments, the color resembles, like a light blue, a more like a mint or turquoisey color. There's a red and then a brown, and there's symbols in these that you've all seen before, which are all these marking sigils of these different cults. So the cult of the Howling Hatred, the cult of the Black Earth, the cult of the Eternal Flame, and then the cult of the Crushing Wave. All of their symbols are on here. And in the centermost point of that, there is a locking mechanism, which all you know that you should have to do is just put this key in there.
Okay.
Who is the key?
I do.
I'll put the key in.
So Ragnarok, you walk up with the key and you place your hand against the door, and
Yeah.
sturdy stonework. You put the key in, and it slides right through into that keyhole. And you give it a twist, and when you give it a twist, there's a light that emanates from the keyhole, and then the specific sigil for the cult of the Howling Hatred, the cult of air, lights up, indicating you're opening up that door. And there's a faint glow on the top part, which is this like eye-looking component. And when you open that, and you pull the key, you undo the key lock, and you pull the key out, the whole door just like begins to raise into the ceiling. This dead air kind of exists, and you feel the air from behind you start to get sucked into this tunnel. And so it's dark, and it's got some ways to go.
Ooh. I walk right in.
Can you see?
Can I ride on your shoulders?
Can I cast
People with dark vision can see.
Ethan?
Yeah,
Ethan,
me too.
I'm gonna cast my spell that gives everyone dark vision for like 100 and whatever feet. I'm gonna use Eyes of the Night. You have dark. After you can see through the deepest gloom, you have dark vision out of range 300 feet. Blah blah blah. In that radius, you can. Okay. As an action, you can magically share the dark vision of this feature with willing creatures you see within 10 feet up to you, up to a number of creatures equal to your Wisdom modifier. The shared dark vision lasts 1 hour, and I can only do it once until a long rest. but they get 300 feet of dark vision, and in dim light, and they can see in dim light as if it were bright light,
Can I ride on Ragnar's shoulder?
and darkness as if it were dim.
You can.
Nice. I do that.
Hodor.
So, you guys gather and begin to step into what is the next leg of this journey.
Yeah.
An enormous chasm splits the earth as far as the eye can see in the pervasive subterranean darkness. A crude, narrow stairway hugs the rock alongside the chasm, twisting madly in hairpin turns around sharp outcroppings. Jagged and uneven, the stair threatens to spill travelers into the chasm's mouth. After several treacherous miles, that stairway terminates on a broad, flat landing that juts out over the immense black chasm. In the gloom, a lost dwarven city lays in ruins beneath the glittering cavern vault. Broken statues stand in the midst of empty plazas, staring sightlessly into the darkness. And a huge step pyramid rises at the edge of the precipice, and from the moat that surrounds it, a misty waterfall whispers over the chasm's ledge.
Holy shit.
What the hell?
The map that I sent you is of this city that you see,
Okay.
in which the centermost structure is that pyramid. The waterfall right behind it.
Where are we on the map?
What the hell?
You guys are entering from the farthest bottom left of the corner. There is, on that map that I sent you guys, kind of where that octagon shape is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah, no, I see.
That's good. You're going to be down there. As you approach this, and everything's at an elevation, so everything's kind of declining into what you see before you. You walk up to this building, and the carved reliefs of two dwarves face one another in profile to complete an arch beyond the ledge. Through the arch, the blocky contours of a lost dwarven city sprawl in the subterranean night. From somewhere within comes an agonizing wail, followed by a breathless ramble of whimpering pleas. Then the whole city seems to join the chorus with the screams of creatures mad from torment.
What the hell?
What do you guys do?
Where are we?
I don't know, and I don't like it at all.
Me neither.
Can I roll a religion check?
Yes, you actually may.
Wait. Oh, we already.
Can I roll history?
Yes, you actually, you definitely can.
21.
21. You can tell that the city element itself is not, doesn't contain any religious iconography or anything of religious significance, but it's being refashioned as such. And so you have the reason to believe that the Cult of Air has moved in fully into this area.
I got 17.
17. There's something about the way that this city is built that gives indication to you that it is ancient and potentially dwarvish, but you can't tell anything else.
Damn.
Why would the Cult of the Air... Are the only buildings we're going to find down here dwarvish? Because why would the Cult of the Air have dwarvish stuff?
Because they moved in.
Yeah.
These are just ruins that they moved in. Why, you don't know, but they didn't make any of this stuff.
I mean, I don't... Does everybody want to look around, or are we just going to keep on moving on?
I'd say we keep continuing forward.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't necessarily... I mean, this is cool, but this isn't necessarily the objective.
Okay, I need you guys to go ahead and make a perception check for me real quick. Because just to make sure you guys are aware, the city is screaming. Like, you hear the sound of...
Yeah.
The creature's mad from torment.
I forgot about that part.
26.
18.
21.
There's a concentration of these sounds that seem to be coming from the guardhouse that's right before you, and it's a squat stone gatehouse that stands at the entrance of this dwarven city. Beyond of which, the gates, there's an arched corridor that zigzags past sturdy stone walls where there seems to be arrow slits that squint from every angle. So, one thing that you guys know about dwarven military is that dwarves are slow. And so because they're slow, they don't like to catch people out on open battlefields where they can be outmaneuvered because they can't outmaneuver the outmaneuver. They're slow. So they like to kill box stuff, right? They like to use artillery, they like to use guns, they like to which you guys don't know that because they haven't released those guns yet. They basically they like to keep their dwarves together. They fight really well in close quarters. And so this is like a little kill box that would be normal to see of dwarvish stuff. So anything that was coming in, they could just take crossbows and start shooting them. At the far end of this murderous hallway stands the entrance to the Lost Dwarven City, and there's screams that are like bouncing off cacophonously through this little kill box. But
Was that what's the center?
No, so you're just still at this little like zigzaggy gate at the
No, I'm
bottom.
saying like where we're hearing this. Is that in the center?
It sound when I say it's like bouncing around like cacophonously.
Oh, it's just like echoing
yeah,
everywhere.
It sounds like it's maneuvering throughout. So it's like the screams are just going all over the place.
Well, buddy, I'm on your shoulders.
I go right into the front gate.
Okay. You begin to walk slowly, the sound of ancient dwarvish dirt crunching beneath your mighty feet.
Yeah.
You take 2 steps. Slow. Purposed.
Ooh.
Nothing happens. Yet the screams persist. So you continue moving. Your party begins to slowly follow to ensure that no harm comes to all your way before you're able to push through and get past this gatehouse. When you arrive next, you can see the segments of this town. The walls, again, everything's built underground, so you can see where the roadway now kind of leads off. From your guys' perspective, it's just directly, forward, but that's where you're going to start moving east, and then there's a pathway that opens up, which would be on your left, which goes north towards that pyramid. From what you saw of the town or the city while you were above, a little bit more above ground, the city spreads from left to right from your guys' perspective, obviously, which you can see on the map that I sent you. It spreads left to right, and the temple and everything goes north. So I'll let you guys decide how you guys want to approach this.
Well, I say we go to the view. I mean, does anybody have a special inclination as to which way to go, or do we want to just kind of start somewhere and go around? I mean, I guess we should try and work our way most directly towards Screaming at the start, right?
I mean, I don't think we should reveal ourselves if the screaming's like getting louder, but I think we should at least see what's going on over there.
Yeah, and just move towards it. So can we try to work as best as we can estimate towards the screaming?
The screaming seems to be happening from everywhere. It's like the screams of the tormented souls that were left here are crying out in agony.
Oh, I thought it was like a ritual or something that's happening.
No.
There's no. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then then we can just kind of go room to room. Maybe we just start somewhere and go around. Unless anyone. No? No? Alright.
We're just gonna walk
Yeah.
straight.
Well, we just start somewhere and just go around in a circle.
Now, the map doesn't do a fully good job of showing it, but there's a lot of doors, so I'm going to do my best to try to express when you see these doors so that you guys can make the good decisions. From your guys' perspective, you're at the top right edge of that octagon, right?
Yeah.
There's a door immediately on your left that will head into the first big building. There's the pathway that opens up on your left just past that segment, and then there's a pathway straight forward that kind of zigzags a bit around a building that you see a door to directly in front of you, and then there's a door that you see off to the left at the edge right next to that door, but there's a path that goes between them. Okay, so door immediately on your left, a big path that opens way on your left a little bit further, and then a pathway at the far end directly in front of you with a door on either side.
Do you want to go towards this area first? Just like whatever all that shit is there. Do we? Okay, can we move towards that bottom right corner where all those that like the red and the white and the brown looking boxes are?
What, like those rooms? Those are
Yeah.
rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's that first door that you're going to see that's like directly in front of you. So if you basically walk in a straight line, you're eventually going to hit a door, and you can get to that if you want to. There's going to be a door immediately on your left, right before that pathway kind of zigzags a little, that you could also walk into. So you have those two doors as options.
It's up to you, dude. If we go straight, then we go to where we wanted to go. Otherwise, we can go left a little bit. If you pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go straight to the rooms.
All right, go straight to the rooms.
To which one?
Go straight. Go through the door that's just directly straight.
Directly in front of you? Okay. So, as you open up the door that's directly in front of you, this building is more or less intact. Although the furnishings and decorations have long since been removed, there's shards of rubble, broken pottery, and bits of bone that litter the floor. The room itself structurally seems to be mostly intact. This current room is empty. And it's a small little living room. And I say living as in like you can live in it.
To the next one.
Okay, there's a door at the end, and you open it up, and entering that door is a small hallway that seems to connect to potentially another building. And as you go ahead and connect to that other building, you open up that door and find that room to also be empty. And it's similar. It's
There's
small,
nothing in there.
Yeah, it's just another small living room, same thing, broken
How many-
rubble, pottery, shards of bone. And there's a door that kind of leads out.
Only one door?
Yes, because you just came in from the other side, so it's kind of like there's a weird like communal element to it, of like how the doors are arranged.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll go to the next door.
Okay, you go to the next door, and that's where you're going to exit on the far right section of the map. And there's a wider pathway that's about 10 feet across that goes to your left. That's going to head up the map, and there are a series of doors. You imagine that this area is kind of like, because now the buildings look very similar on this side of it, where you're looking on like the outsides of these buildings. It seems to be a small little living quarters where people would reside.
Okay. Good. So we can go left, and that's it, or can we go anywhere else?
So you can go up,
We can go up or left.
because you guys are at the bottom right corner of the map, basically.
Yeah, let's go up. Let's go up.
Okay. You guys begin to walk up, and you see the pathway splits open, moving left, moving kind of, it arches around the building. Do you want to cut left? It's going to go back to where you kind of had come from. There's probably some other stuff that you can see along the way, or do you want to keep moving forward and cut up and around? There's a door also right in front of you, but you imagine it's another living quarters.
I say we keep going.
Yeah, but in which way?
Does anyone object?
I've nowhere else. Nowhere else. I think we should go then forward. It won't hurt.
All right, then yeah. Instead of going left, let's keep going forward to go like the top right corner.
Okay. As you begin to maneuver around, you get to an area where it kind of looks like just darkened stone. However, that's not the actual color of this area. You see cracked flagstones of ultramarine marble, so like a blue, like a deep blue, that pave this plaza. An avenue to the east ends at a wall of fallen masonry that's caved in and stone. To the west is a pillared colonnade that stretches across a moat, which is full of water, by the way. up to the step pyramid, this massive step pyramid. There is something here, something you've never seen before. A creature dressed in this torn vest and ragged pantaloons sits here, kind of toiling at the stone, trying to move things away from the location that they're at. He gives off this kind of like an Aladdin vibe in terms of how he's dressed and his appearance. He has a turban on that has a red feathered plume, and he's got a very deep blue skin. One of the things that's noticeable is he's sizably taller than you guys, even you, Ragnar, sizably taller than you. And he's
How
twirling
tall
away.
is he?
He's probably got 1.5 feet
He's
on
a-
Ragnar.
Well, he's like 8 or
he
9
wouldn't be
feet
a
tall.
giant.
Closer to like 8.
You said-
How far are we from him?
You guys, so you can get to the corner before the stones appear, and he's in that space. So this big space that's like in the middle of the map at the far right, how there's that little area with the cave in on the edge. That's where he's at, and he's moving stones out of the way and kind of moving them off to the side.
Try to like clear that caved-in spot.
Seems to be.
Shall we introduce ourselves?
Wait, so are we in the center then?
You're not in the center. You're on the bottom side of that.
Shall we introduce ourselves, or do you see a better approach?
Wait,
Well, we don't know if he's hostile.
While we're
Well,
talking, can I use my magic awareness on him?
Oh yeah, he's absolutely magical.
Okay. Does he have a magical item on
He
him?
does.
Like a weapon?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, the mind reading helmet! The mind reading helmet!
Yeah, you could attempt to use that.
I'm gonna try and read his mind.
You can get surface level thoughts without him knowing. If you want to probe deeper and do detect thoughts, he may know what you've done. So
Beep boop beep.
What would you?
What are his surface level thoughts?
His surface
Man,
level,
this is really heavy.
So his surface level thoughts are: I need to move these stones. I gotta get this done. She has asked this of me.
He's not in control of himself. He's a bad guy. He's either a nut job or he's a bad guy.
I'm going to not probe into his brain deeper yet, and I think we should just capture him and interrogate him.
And how are we going to capture him?
Well, we outnumber him. I think we're pretty experienced heroes. I don't believe it should be that hard. If you'd like, I could cast Hold Person, but I'm not sure how resistant he will be to it. But I believe he said something about, she asked this of me, I need to get this done. I don't think he's working for anyone but who we're looking for. And thankfully, my 10-day of Ilmata is still in effect, so I don't think I'm breaking any rules here.
I say we attack him.
Well, what if we try and capture him first?
He doesn't seem
He'll
to be
probably.
armed. He doesn't seem to be armed, by the way.
He'll still try
Well-
to resist.
Better yet, how often do we get to try tricks? What if we try and pretend? What if we go up there and pretend to be his friend or ally or working for, what is it, the cult of the something flamed?
Couldn't you suggest that to him? Suggest that we're his allies.
That's what we could try, or we could just capture him. Ragnar, what do you think?
I don't think a lot.
Pippin, any thoughts?
Oh no.
Not like this.
Not like this. Pippin, any thoughts?
Well, I'll try this.
How about
Old
this?
person.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna cast
I cast-
old person.
Well,
Yeah.
how about why don't you suggest first? Suggest that maybe we're friends with them, and if that doesn't work, then I would probably cast that. Then if that doesn't work, maybe Ragnarok and I can try to capture him, but I don't have anything to capture him with.
I was gonna say, how do you guys plan on capturing this thing? Because
I mean, I have
sizably
silk. Maybe I
bigger than
could-
you.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I can make
He's
I can
noticeably
maybe-
he's noticeably non-human, by the way.
Oh.
The bigger they are,
Like he's got
The heavier
size
they
on
fall.
you. He's got a decent size on you, and while he's wearing human-looking clothes, and he gives off a magical aura.
How far is he from us?
Like 15, 20 feet.
Well, sir, I'll go give it
I
a
was gonna
shot.
pull out my telescope, but there's no need for that.
If he has a blade against my throat, you all know what to do. I'll go try and talk.
Do we
I
need
mean, it
to
doesn't.
kill it? Can we just get past it? Do we need to hurt it?
We don't know if they're friendly at all.
What can you tell them?
And I want to talk to it, dude.
Okay, you
We
step
could,
out
uh,
and
Check 'em.
introduce
I
yourself.
step out.
Nate, would that be a
He's
nature
grabbing
check?
rocks and like putting them off to the side, so he's not paying attention to you. So you have to get his attention.
Hello there.
He like lifts up a rock and pulls it up to his abdomen and kind of moves over and drops it and turns over in your direction. What do you want?
The same thing you do, of course.
That's a lie. You don't even know it.
And how can you be so bold to claim that?
Because you haven't been trapped in this building for thousands of years cleaning rubble. So.
Well,
And he picks up another stone and carries it. Oh no, we lost him!
no.
We got him back, boys! Yeah, but he goes, because you haven't been, trapped here for thousands of years cleaning up rubble.
Maybe switch him.
Hundreds
Why?
of years, sorry, not thousands, hundreds.
And why haven't you gotten out yet?
Because I can't. Like I said, I've been trapped down here. That's why we don't want the same things. I want freedom.
I thought you were a worshipper of Imix.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to take that as not as an insult, and just chop it up to your simian ignorance.
Alright, well, I don't.
If you don't mind me asking, what are you?
Is that an honest question? Very
Genuine.
I am what you and your kind call a genie.
Oh, he's a genie.
No way.
Well,
And
Genie.
he goes, maybe this will help so that I fit with the stereotype, and all of his legs kind of turn into this wisping, smoking tail at the base.
No.
And he puts his,
Right.
hands, and he puts his hands
Right.
out in front of him like this and goes, does that help?
It's the genie.
Oh, I see he's got more of a simian intellect. I found the brains of the group. He looks over to you and goes, hello, big lizard. Do you think a lot up here?
Indeed, I do.
he said minutes ago that he does not think very often. I quote,
He did say that.
He kind of looks at you up and down and goes, you give the appearance that your thought process works a little bit slower than an oversized monkey, but can produce the same results.
you're right.
I'm not a monkey. I'm a dragonborn.
Great. Just great.
Well, Genie,
By the
can
way, he
we...
can't really, he can't stop picking up stones, so there's something about it where, even when he stops and, does something, he then immediately, he can only go so long without going and grabbing a
no.
stone and moving it.
Are you cursed?
Cursed. You know nothing about genies. I guess my whole life's a curse.
Wait, do we get wishes?
Hey, it was a genuine question of his.
That was a bad
Forgive
question. No, you don't get wishes. It's not how it works. Ask that of the Tao and see if they give you wishes. Ask that of the Ifrit if you want to find the people who actually worship Imix. IMAX. I
Can we make
worship IMAX. What a joke.
IMAX.
What?
So why
why
are
are
you
you
cleaning
here?
up Rebel?
Why am I cleaning up Rebel? Oh, simple, because a dwarven king hundreds of years ago has told me that I need to do so, and yet I haven't been freed from that task ever since. And now, there seems to be some fairy-looking elf who sits in, and he points to the pyramid, that pyramid over there, who seems to desire that I not be released from this task. And since she has the horn, I cannot move. I'm stuck.
So if we get the horn, we get 3 wishes?
I don't grant wishes.
But you're a genie.
That's not how it works.
I know more about you than you do.
I'm confident you don't.
Come on.
So if you get the horn, what's in it for us?
Real though.
Oh, so you're more concerned about your
No,
outcome
we
than
are
my
not.
freedom. I'm glad.
No, we are not. We are going to get the horn regardless, and we will make sure that you are not destined to constant servitude.
Oh,
We will
thank you.
help you.
Someone with a heart. Someone with a heart.
Forgive my friends.
But we would appreciate some information in return.
Yeah, a little bit of
Information.
guidance.
You do not know how to negotiate with people at all.
And
You,
at least 1 wish.
Here, I'll give you some information as a gesture of good faith so that maybe, just maybe, you'll learn to be a little bit nicer to me. Does that work out well for you?
he won't learn.
You mentioned an entity that you know not of named IMAX.
I was going to ask.
The insult that I took to that is that IMAX belongs to the plane of elemental fire. I am not a fire genie. I'm a wind genie. Because of that,
Love you
I
both,
belong
too.
to the elemental plane of air. Now, the people in that... And he points to the pyramid. People in that pyramid over there worship someone similar to IMAX, yet distinct. That thing is known as Yon Si Bin. Yon Si Bin is the prince of evil air, Shadow of the Four Winds, otherwise known as the Howling Hatred.
Yeah, you've heard that before. Wrote that.
Yeah, the thought now suddenly clicks. Oh, that's where the Feathergale Knights got their cult name from. Like, that's where the cult of the Howling Hatred gets their name from. As they're literally the cult of the entity, the Howling Hatred, this Yon Si Bin.
Was that documented anywhere? Could we have known that with any kind of check at any point?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I see. And is there any other information in terms of
Oh, the rest you can get when you give me my horn.
all right.
But trust me, there's a lot.
Is it guarded, well guarded in there, or
Yes, you know, only the prophetess of Yon Si Bin has it.
well?
What does she look like? You said she was elvish?
Yeah, it has a fairy appearance to her. It has wings, can fly. They're not butterfly wings, though. It's like bird wings.
I have bird wings.
Yeah, but yours are real. Hers look fake. They look like ethereal, spectral.
She's a fucking warlock, dude.
Slow down. Not a warlock. She's a prophetess. She's been gifted by something. So, well, I guess that fits the same term. There's something different about her than other warlocks that I've ever known.
We call it plum.
Different as in
She's less insane. Granted, that's probably up for debate.
So
well,
is she making you pick up these stones?
Well, no, not technically. Like I said, there was a dwarven king who said I had to do this. The problem was then dwarves all died, so I kind of got
Do you think
stuck.
this would have been cleared if you just didn't pick up one stone at a time?
I can't pick up more than one stone. I gotta pick up one stone. I'm quite limited to how much stone I can pick up. It didn't help that over the years stuff continued to break, and then it didn't help when all these people moved in, and then further stuff continued to break. It doesn't help. I had things pretty pristine a while ago, about a full century ago. This place was looking immaculate. And then people started to move in. Well, it was one drow elf that tried to move in, and he caused a boatload of pain ever since.
How long have you been moving rocks?
Do you listen?
He said for a couple 100 years,
Oh,
Poor guy.
but he's been lifting one at a time, and he's saying that it's been taking him too long. What's on the other side of that crumbled area?
It was just more of the city of Tiar Basil.
Why did the dwarf king destine you to this job?
That's what dwarves do. They're prideful little shits. They're arrogant, and they beat me in a duel, so they had every right to tell me what to do. And this is what they told me what to do.
So that's how you win wishes from a genie, is winning in a duel.
I don't do wishes. Wishes are not my thing.
So what do you grant?
Servitude.
What I grant is not wishes, is what I grant. Right now, all I'm good for is moving rocks.
One rock at a time.
I'm
Right.
limited. I'd like to see you move more rocks at a time.
why
Hey,
don't
it's
you
not
wish
my job.
you could move more?
What'd you say, Ragnar?
Why don't you wish you could move more?
Because I don't do wishes. That's not my thing.
We're just giving this guy a hard time.
All right, let's go grab that horn so we can get our wish.
No, no wish. There's no wish. You don't get a wish.
Bro,
Hey,
He's
little
nothing.
little simian lizard brain, I need you to use it. You are a dragonborn, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because you're a dragonborn, can you fly?
No,
Why can you not fly?
because I don't have wings.
Because you don't have wings. Why? Because you're a dragonborn.
Yes.
And dragonborns don't have wings.
But if you're born a dragon, you do have wings.
Exactly. So dragons can fly, dragonborns cannot fly. That is the exact same thing with genie. The genie you're thinking about that can give wishes is like a dragon that can fly. I'm
Oh.
like you. I can't fly. I don't give wishes.
So, a
So what
genie
do you
in a
do if
bottle-
you're a genie?
A genie in a bottle grants wishes, but a genie in a horn doesn't.
You know what? If that helps, yes.
Sounds like all they do is just
If that
complain.
helps, yes. You would complain too if you'd spent the better part of 4 centuries cleaning up rubble and rocks after dwarves.
Well, there's no need listening and on about this situation. We should just go on.
Go get your horn, you horny bastard.
But if we get the horn, that means you're our genie now, right?
I don't know how I feel about this.
I joke. We'll help you. I'm kidding.
If you help me, I can give you as much information as possible. But if you are true about actually getting this horn, you must understand that even attempting to get the horn, if you were to fight Irisi Kalanoth, the prophetess, who sits in that temple who has that horn, she would be forced to summon me to defend her. Doing so would stop me from doing all these dang rocks. And until she
So are
gives
you-
the command, and if she were to give the command to fight, then I must fight.
Fight us?
But you are so good at this, really. Your thinking is like it's there, but it's not. Yes, I would have to fight you. But if she uses the horn and doesn't give the command, then I don't have to fight you.
But if we get the horn first, you can help us fight her.
Correct.
Would you be okay doing that? Do I have your consent?
Yes. She had... You don't need my consent. She has me still picking up stones. She's been here for a little bit of a while now. She's had every chance to say, oh, look, here is Atair, still picking up stones after 400 years. Oh, poor Atair. We should give Atair no more year of picking up stones. And you want to know what Irisi Kalanoth said? She said, how about no? And I'm still stuck. So yes, I would be fine doing that. You don't need my consent.
They don't give you vacation days or...
He puts his head against his nose and just. I wish I had a vacation day in the past 430 years. That would have been great. That would have been so good. I would have loved it. I'll have to bring that up with the next dwarven empire that I'm a part of that seemingly dies out of nowhere.
Oh, hopefully you can be the start of ours.
The start of your dwarven empire that dies out of nowhere? You're kind
Well,
of
maybe
lacking
a
a few
halfling
stunted
empire.
individuals, aren't you?
We've got a halfling. That's close, right?
No,
Oh, I
don't
bet
you
the dwarves would like that.
think one of them.
He's not as meaty.
Yeah, I got a lot more attitude.
He's not as busy.
You think a dwarf is an angry drunk? I'll show you an angry drunk.
One piece of information I must leave you with is that the prophetess has recovered an artifact that is uniquely tied to this city.
Oh no.
It's a spear. It's a weapon, one of 4 that was made in
Is-
service of the elemental planes. It is a very dangerous weapon in the wrong hands, and the greatest of keys in the right hands.
Can I insight
Oh,
the key statement?
Bro, this is straight some Ninjago shit, dude.
No, this is like Rising of the Shield Hero. There's gonna be like different cardinal weapons.
22.
22 on
Yeah.
insight? Yeah, there's definitely a secondary meaning that he's got going on there. You just don't know enough information contextually to understand it, but you can tell right away that he has a double meaning to that. So he's trying to give the impression that dependent on who wields this weapon determines if it's actually a weapon used for destruction or something used for peace.
Whatever
I'm,
it is.
I'm not sure if I know any spells of the sort, but if you give me time to search through my books, I might be able to find a spell that allows me to cancel sound, which might be able to prevent her from summoning the genie.
Well, why
That
don't
would
we
be
have
amazing.
like Pippin sneak? Can't we just cast invisibility on him?
I would
On who?
Pippin, how do you feel about that? Sneak
Wait
to
on.
go get that horn.
Me? Well, I mean, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. And I look
Just
around.
grab it and then come right back.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I-
well, wait. Can we talk this out a little more? Fuck, dude. Like, I mean, we don't know what we're going into quite yet. I just think we should be a little careful. I'm.
Oh, I'll be careful.
Yeah, that's why we would send out Pippin first.
I'm just a little guy.
Not for him to get hurt first, but for him to see what's going on,
They won't
see where
even know,
everything is. Exactly.
like a fly on the wall.
So why don't we just go grab the horn and summon him ourselves?
If you all give me a night's rest, then I'd be able to prepare the spell silence, which would allow me to cancel out any form of sound, which in return would also stop verbal somatic spells. And I think it would be wiser for us to wait. I mean, we're not just going into any random dungeon or creepy crawly place. We're going into the head priestess. And I think it might. I would feel safer preparing if you give me the opportunity to.
I mean, it seems that she doesn't know that we're here, and the genie can still be. He can just still pick up rocks. Like, I feel like another day won't kill him. So I think we should be okay.
Trust me, I want to get in there and stop this as much as all of us.
Was 100 rocks.
He's gonna be pissed once he goes nap and he's
Sorry, dude. If you want to get out of here or not, dude. Like, do your
Ethan,
part.
what happens if I cast Layman's tiny hut on top of him?
He would.
panic. Where's the rocks?
It wouldn't break his command.
Wait,
The trick is to cast
but
it
he wouldn't see any more
inside-
rocks.
Inside.
So when
Right,
we get a
so it would change.
Wait, can you do that? Can you cast land in a tiny hut inside something?
Wait, what if you banish him?
Inside some.
What about inside a Tarask?
That's true. What if I banished him? What would happen?
Oh, you would just leave. You would just leave the hut and get out of it, and then start picking up rocks.
What about
Now,
banishment?
if you banish him, it would be somewhat comparable to him being inside of his horn.
But he wouldn't be freed.
No, it wouldn't. That would technically free him.
I think what you should do is, worst comes to worst. Let's say that we can't, or let's say we aren't able to grab the horn after we rest and everything. If he has to fight us, then I think that's when we should cast, or you should cast ban. Or
Oh, wait, if we're gonna
do we know
survive-
that you have that?
Oh, now.
What? We're supposed to save him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we don't have to.
Out of game reasons, I just really want to have silence for this next combat because I think it'll be a really cool spell, and most of the time it's just hack and slash or cast damaging spells, and I think this could add a cool component to the combat if you guys allow me to learn this spell before.
Well, can he? Well, like, if someone's sneaking, they won't be able to make sound either, right?
It's not. It's the sound. It's
You
that it
need to
takes
hold
a
on
verb.
with
She has to speak into the horn to summon the genie. So if I can learn the spell, then I literally am removing sound so that she cannot. So when she speaks, there's no sound that comes out. So
Right,
that
but is it like an area that you're?
it's a
doing, or-
20-foot radius.
Then yeah, then I mean,
To do it?
so you're gonna cast that if we fight her, or are you gonna cast that near?
I mean, I was gonna
around
cast
the
that.
horn?
I was gonna cast that when combat initiated, or to prevent her from, like, whenever it seemed proper, like that because she's not just gonna summon the horn out for fun. So it's like a combat,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, either of those options are pretty good options of either taking a rest and then going in,
I thought we all agreed.
or sending someone in to steal the horn. Both are actually
Or
pretty
even
decent ideas.
we could,
Yeah, we can wait for silence.
or we could do both too. Like we could send two people. Like I could get silence, and then Nick and I could both go, and then if it backfires, then I'd be able to cast silence on her. If like Nick gets caught or something.
Essential.
I mean, because one way or another, we're gonna have to trash her, so we might as well just.
There is a slight problem that if you go with him invisible, then you do still have disadvantage on your
Wait,
stealth checks
then
because of your heavy armor, so it would be a flat roll instead of well,
do you have a spot in your ring
invisibility
to
is
cast
fully
silence?
give you.
Can you do that?
It'd be weird. We'd have to figure that out.
I would have to prepare. I would have to have this access to the spell already to put it
He
into.
does have to have the spell prepared in order to get it stored.
I mean, then we can make a plan the morning after, because then he would have the spell. Then couldn't he just prepare it then, or?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that'd be a safer bet. So that, I mean, if you wanted to go with him, you can, but there's a chance that you can get caught depending on your.
We don't engineer this. I'm totally fine with just getting the silence, and then we can just full party attack her and take that fight. Like I'm pretty confident we'll be able to win that.
Yeah.
Especially with silence, if that pulls off successfully. So.
I'm okay with that too. I don't really care how. I just want to be able to use silence. That's the only thing that I care about. I want to have the opportunity to use that.
But so
I mean, I
we,
feel like it would work against her though, regardless. Just because, like, if she's going to be blowing a horn, doesn't a horn make sound?
Yeah,
So
I
then
mean, I didn't think about it either for some reason until right now. But there's a lot of spells that require verbal components, so prevent those as well, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind spending the night or like doing a long rest.
I don't know why we have to long rest for this though.
Yes.
Oh, for me to get the
Yeah.
spell prepared, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can I help him move rocks while he's long resting?
You could if you wanted to. Just need to be careful because you don't know if there are things that patrol these areas.
We can go sleep in those living
You
rooms
could.
that have nothing.
You absolutely could.
Because I mean,
You know-
they seem deserted enough.
I'm gonna cast.
I would. Don't we have a tiny hut? Go in the
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it out in the open. I would
I would
probably
put it in the
still
living
go
room.
back to the living quarters.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I thought we were gonna do it in the genie's room.
A genie doesn't have a room. He's out in the open.
Oh, he's just
Yeah, so basically where you guys are at, there's a giant bridge that extends towards the temple from this area. If there wasn't a cave in here, it would go further into the city.
Yeah, and that's what I had asked him earlier, right?
Okay, so you gather in one of the living quarters, you plop the Leoman's tiny hut, and you begin to go ahead and start taking your long rest. Ragnarok, my buddy, my dude, your dreams are quite fun for this long rest.
Yo, it's been a while since we've heard that. Your dreams.
You are your
Yeah,
dream. Your dream is one of combat. You're fighting in, yeah, I know, surprising. You're fighting in the gladiatorial arena. Some upstart human man has the audacity to come at you with a knife, thinking he's going to plunge it into your chest, and you grab him by the throat and you grab the edge of his wrist as he's plunging it down, so you have him in like this open position, and you pick him up and you take his hand with the blade in it and shove it into his chest before you throw him onto the ground to leave him to die and drown in his own blood. You move over to another person who comes up with a shield and a mace, and this person takes the shield and punches you in the chest with it, and you feel bones crack. And as he comes in with the mace to try to swipe at you, you go ahead and grab him by the back of his head and you breathe a plume of fire into his face and drop him. And another person comes right up to you, but this time you're ready for it. And so you had to go get your nice fighting companion, Janice, who you left on someone's skull that you've caved in, picking her up and swinging it around and shattering kneecaps, sending this guy to the ground before you bring her back up and smush that helmet in, turning it into a jelly donut of sorts, very metallic one. There's another person that stands before you, though. This one noticeably young, late teens, barely a man, being forced to fight. And
Don't do it.
these moments bring you a lot of pain because you know the expectation is to fight hard and to fight to survive. Whatever reason this kid in your eyes is here for, he is to do the same. But he shakes as he has a little pike in his hand. What would you do?
What would I do? I mean, I would try to. No, I'm not gonna fucking instant kill him. Honestly, I would try and act out like I'm trying to battle him, but not actually kill him.
Yeah. So, this dream reminds you of your own personal growth as a gladiator. When you got brought into gladiatorial combat, you made it your own oath to refuse to kill your opponents, seeking first to incapacitate them. And the life that you were before being thrown into this gladiator pit was brutal. It was filled with the ferocity of combat, and that's why you were sold. That's why you were sold into this gladiatorial combat, and you knew that you need to do something better. You incapacitate this kid. You shatter a femur. A femur will heal with time. And you leave him screaming on the ground, but you know that you've done him a mercy despite the pain that you've inflicted. And you take Janice and you move back into your little the non-human quarters of the gladiatorial arena, knowing that you consider yourself victorious for today. You're not alone, and a little kobold steps up to the seat next to you, and kind of looks up to you, his little feet swinging off the edge. He's got this scrap piecemealed armor put together, and he has two little blades that are curved for him that are strapped to his back. And he's like, "So, how was it?"
Cobalt kind of good.
He's a bad.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah, I created him.
Wait, what did he say?
So how was it?
It was not too bad today. Only killed about 5 and incapacitated 1 young boy.
Oh well, at least you'll live another day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Monday.
Ah, yes, that's fair. You ever wonder what it would be like if we weren't here? Adventuring out in the wilds, fighting monsters and beasts, and saving the world.
There will be no need to wonder. We will get out of here.
Yes, if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't.
With
But-
your brain and my bronze, I'm not worried.
Well, if it were
You'll
up to my bronze, I would be dead several fights ago. But fortunately enough, they always pair me up with you. Every single time I get to fight alongside you, it's great. I mean, while you were saving that boy's life, I was over there gutting out some wolf that they threw in there, and boy, and you recognize now he's kind of like covered in blood from the waist down. I mean, I think about our situation here, and I just think to myself, think of all the people in the world who are in this type of a situation, locked in the struggle of combat, locked in the struggle of life, but they just don't have a big, brave dragonborn to save the day. You won't just be a hero. You'll be a legend. A chain breaker. Biddle and Ragnar the Chainbreaker. That's what we'll be called.
Chainbreaker. Ragnar starts to tear up a little bit.
Oh, buddy, he puts a little hand on your like abdomen because he's smaller than you. Oh, buddy, come on, you're so nice. You're so nice.
That's such a badass name.
Well, I've come up with an idea that might be able to help us get out. You see, I found out that if you shave the end of a little piece of metal, and then you take another piece of metal and wedge it, you can use it to manipulate a lock. And I'm thinking I can find a way to break us out tonight.
It's guys are savage, dude.
But you gotta start telling people, like, tonight's the night. Tonight we get out.
I will. I'll hold a speech and inspire everyone.
Okay, I look forward to it. You're gonna say a lot of really smart things. Anyways, and then the dream kind of fades out and gets back in at the moment of this speech. You have a collection of gladiators, slaves in their own rights, who are gathered before you, hoping to find a new life for themselves, hoping to carve a space in Faerun for themselves, hoping to claim a freedom that is not theirs for themselves, on their own, so that they can fight and die on their terms and not for the entertainment of those around them. You guys are all united in this common union, this common purpose. And you said you would inspire them.
Brothers and sisters, tonight's the night. I want you to all grab the will that you have left in you that held you strong within the gladiator pits. And I want you to use that to fight your way out tonight. We have a plan to get out, but it's going to take a lot of fighting. And we won't have everyone leave with us. But we'll damn well try. So grab your greatest weapon and use your sharpest wits, and we will break these chains.
Yeah, I remember.
You hear a roar of anger and fury.
We're gonna.
You kick the door in after the lock is picked, and people are running in. The guards are caught off guard, and they're not prepared for you and your entourage of gladiators to be free and to be fighting for their freedom so fiercely. And you're fighting in that same principle. Janus is swinging, and Janus is ending the lives of many. you catch yourself in a moment where you have two human soldiers on you, and their swords are on Janice, and you're using the entire length of Janice's handle to catch both of the blades, and you're trying to push them back with enough force so that you can bring Janice around and start swinging, but you can't. You can't find that room to do so. And you see in that brief moment that Biddle runs up with his curved blades and slices at the ankles of these human soldiers, and they drop down, giving you enough time to push them back, and then you use that moment to slam them both with your maul. And as you do that, you see Biddle look at you, and he grabs you by like the thigh, because, you know, big height difference between a kobold and a dragonborn, and he looks up and he goes, "Ragnarok, we're gonna make it out. And you're gonna remember that I saved you. I did, didn't I? You saw it."
And it was a great swing, brother.
"Yes, there I was, and I will never let you live it down. I waded right through the group, I brought out my swords, and I thunk." The rest of the words are choked.
What?
Oh.
And his body doesn't move for a second. And he looks down. And you look down in horror to see a crossbow bolt into his stomach.
That's so messed up. Take it back.
Yeah.
No, what the fuck?
Ragnarok?
Biddle.
Ragnarok?
No.
Blood starts to get coughed up. He grabs onto it and he begins to fall. And so you instinctually grab him and you realize more bolts are getting flown your way. So you grab him and hold him like a football and run. And you just run with all your might. Running through people, you have Janice still in one hand, and as you're running, you use like the edge of the maul and they're just like slamming it into people, like stiff arming them to get them out of your way. Just running with Biddle in your arms. And you eventually make it out, and you're able to make it free of this area, and you sprint for what feels like hours to look for any place that can tend to Biddle's wounds.
Sorry.
And so you lean down and you put Biddle on the ground with his head on a little log. There's a little pond nearby, and there's a tree. And there was a couple of animals here, but they fled because of how quick that you came running. And he looks at you, and he's wheezing. His breath is heavy.
Biddle.
No.
It'll be okay, brother.
Don't kill him.
It's okay, Ragnar. I'll die knowing I fought alongside the bravest soul this world will ever know. Our journey together has been an honor, an unforgettable one. And I'm grateful for every moment that we shared on this battlefield. Remember, our bond is unbreakable, and my spirit will forever march alongside you. You are meant to go forth and do great things. Jane. Ray. And you connect with that moment when the final breath is breathed. And the body goes limp.
Oh my God.
And you howl in pain, as if the arrow was shot into your stomach, because that's what it feels like. Pain of loss. It stabs deeper than any sword. And it wakes you up from your sleep. It's dark. Darker, considering you're inside an ancient dwarven city. And you just hear the faint sound of stone being picked up, moved to the side, and dropped. A monotonous just... What do you do?
I just hear stone being moved.
Yeah. You know that outside that the genie Ayatir is currently at work. Or sorry, Ayatir.
I think I would probably find some sort of chair to sit in, and then like the spare alcohol that I had in my pack, I would drink.
Okay. You open up a bottle. You uncork a bottle of like a wine that you've been saving onto. And without a cup, just like an alcoholic, just start drinking it to down away the pain. So, as an alcoholic, you now lose the following.
Whoa!
You just unlocked coping mechanism as an achievement. It's a bad achievement. You don't want it.
Unlocked the coping mechanism.
Hey, I didn't know
The bottle's finished, and you throw it off to the side, and it clanks against the wall, shatters as it hits the ground.
Poor little girl.
The shattering wakes up everyone,
Good. What in the hell
and
was that?
you guys see in the corner is a very intoxicated Ragnar.
Ragnar, what the hell are you doing, Ragnar? We're supposed to be resting.
I can't sleep.
What do you mean you can't sleep?
You go then.
I don't think I ever heard you slur a word before, Ragnar. I'll give me a second. Pippin gets up and kind of rubs his tired eyes away. Comes over and sits next to Ragnar. You getting the jitters about tomorrow?
Ragnar will lean towards you and start to like grab you and like pet your hair while he's gonna start talking.
Oh, okay.
I used to have a friend.
Easy boy.
I'm gonna walk up while you're talking and sit next to you guys.
He was your size, Pippin. His name was Biddle.
I won't take offense.
He was a genius. He's the reason I was able to escape the gladiator pits. But on our breakout, he was pierced with a bolt. And I couldn't find any salvation. So he died in my arms.
Sorry to hear that.
You knew him a long time?
We became very close. I mean, I was in the gladiator pits when I was a child.
He was there with you too.
I was there for a couple of years before he showed up. But he could help me with my magic problems that would happen, like crazy outbursts.
Yeah, no, that's
And I protected him.
that's fair. I've seen my fair share of good fellows meet their early demise, but none as close and tender to my heart as your Biddle sounds. But, I think that's why we all work so hard out here like we do, so that we don't lose anyone else like that. So let's go.
Or we don't have anyone else experience something like that.
Precisely. So we can step into tomorrow knowing that we'll all be there for each other and we'll all go home. But in order to do that, you're going to need some rest. You need to be ready for it and not drunk as a fiddle on a Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, guys. And then I'm gonna grab you and Nihilus and pick you both up in a group hug.
Don't do it, dude.
Oh god.
And then you hear Oslek in the background go, oh, fucking, that's the fucking,
Like a rooster.
yeah, like a rooster. in the morning.
And after sharing a wholesome moment together as a party, deepening your bond as you get ready to head and fight the first of these elemental prophets, knowing that death lies before any of you from this day moving forward, you go back to bed so that you can finish up your long rest, waking up in the morning, knowing that you are to tackle the rest of this pyramid, find Erisi Kalanoth, find where she has left Desenia so that you can save her, and then find a way to free I keep forgetting his name for the life of me. Altair.
Another year for a tire.
So that he's not here for an entire year.
I am so tired.
That is where we will pick up next, is here. So thank you guys for another great week. We will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Oh yeah.
We hope you guys have a great time in the meantime. We hope you stay safe, that you tell people that you love them, and to remember to take care of yourself and those around you. We will catch you. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for continuing to join us on our YouTube adventures. And we thank you so much. We hope you have a great rest of your night. And we will see you next time.
Soon
Next
enough.
time.
Have a good night.